So the command line feeds into a C compiler. Any function entered gets compiled just in time, incrementally. So if I say U0 count I64N, I64I for I equals 0, I lesser for I equals 1, I less or equal N, I plus plus, %D, carriage return, I. Now any statement entered outside a function executes immediately, gets compiled and executed immediately. So if I say count 1 plus 9, counts to 10. Okay, so we can unassemble function count. It's using register variables. It's 64-bit assembly. If you say we can also say we can say unassemble. This was unassemble function. There's another command unassemble, and you specify the offset like that. This doesn't matter. This is a C function. So you see how that's the same. Anyway, so you can turn on the compiler trace, C trace on. Now if you say directory star, now remember it unassembles, it compiles each statement function by function or statement by statement. So we push a 0. Directory has two arguments. Oops, it compiled something when I exited the editor. Anyway, so there's the string data goes after after the code. So this returns to the command line where it gets more C code. Okay, so you can say who minus R. Okay, well that's annoying. Okay, so here's count. There's a lot of parameters to who. I'm going to say C trace off directory. Okay, so who minus R. This is environment variables. You can think of they're C variables and C functions. So if I say I64, then I say who. Don't recurse is what that means. Oh, what happened? Oh, what the hell did I do? I64I. Who? Minus R. Okay, there we go. So the current task is in the FS segment register. Okay, you'll see the current task record address is up. If you look up here by the top, 3FD5. Okay, you can. The current task is also in the FS segment register. You see the 3. This matches the upper corner here. Okay, so if we turn C trace on and we say FS, now there's the context is stored here. So there's an RIP register, or RIP member variable, member. Anyway, so the FS segment register is what's used. Now in 64-bit mode, the segment registers are set set to 0 except FS and GS. And if you want to change FS and GS, call this function set GS base or set FS base. Then it does a write model specific register, and that's how you change FS or GS. Don't do it though. That's only because the FS, as a matter of fact, we can look up FS. FS, if we look it up, it's an internal compiler function. It's a task record pointer. So if we look up a task record, now what was that RIP, 120? Yeah, here's RIP right here. This is the context. That's the most important thing in the task record, is the context. As a matter of fact, it does not save FS and GS. It does not save those. Those are, that's a pointer. It doesn't get saved. Trust me, it doesn't get saved. So anyway, the current directory is in the task record. Let's see what the current directory is. How about that? How about we say %s carriage return, comma. This is the address of FS Kurder. Let's see what this does. So what we did, it got the FS value. It has a self address. Anyway, we push. What did we do? $80 off of FS is the current directory. We push that value. My compiler did a good job. Anyway, there's one parameter, there's one argument in this printf. This is a print statement, and this is the format string %s\n, and so here's the format string right here. So we just printed, and then right here is what it printed. The current directory is kernel. So we could change directory without, that's a little, I think we can do it. It's a little bit dangerous. It's pretty dangerous. But we could say FS Kurder equals. Now it's a mallocated value. So we better free the old one, mallocated Kurder. Now here's where we, there's a, if you want to allocate a string, use string, use mstring, mallocate string. Now you use mstring print. Okay, now whatever you put inside of here, watch this. I'm gonna do this extra complicated just to show. %s \s, comma, Atom, comma, gr. So a subdirectory. Atom gr. You can figure that out. Watch this. Okay. Now, look. Well, it changed at the command line, but let's see if it's completely valid. It looks pretty valid. I don't know if there's anything that goes wrong, but it changed directory. That's pretty dangerous. Don't count on that working. So what else? What other fun and mischief can we get into? So class rep. GS is the current CPU structure. So there's a CPU. Now there's a class rep will dump a structure, and it's smart enough to figure out what kind of pointer structure it's pointing to, so you don't have to do it. This is kind of like a class. Let's see, class. What do we do? Class rep D, and then let's do FS, the current task. Now this is live. That D is for dynamic. Now if you notice, these registers and stuff are changing dynamically. Let's go to here, are they changing even? Yeah, it should be changing. Okay, left, let's change this to 16. Watch what happens. Bam! It moved the left window coordinate over. I just moved the left window coordinate. Okay, so these are changing dynamically. That's the current task record. So that's class rep D. We can also say class rep D, current CPU record. Okay, what other fun and mischief can we get into? How about U8 star B equals malloc? I could allocate a big chunk. Oh well, let's just go 80. So you can use malloc at the command line. Memset. I'm just showing how this works. 0, comma, let's do 0x88, that's the year I graduated, comma, and then let's say M size, that's the size of the allocated chunk. So anything allocated off the heap, oops, that crashed. Don't do that. Let's try that again. U8. No, let's not try that again. No, star B. malloc 0x80. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 6 out of memory. Okay, that's a nice crash. How about that? Okay. Let's do it again. Okay, you can see up at the top the memory going down. Now let's do memset B. What size of M size B? Okay, it includes. You got a little bit more than you asked for. It's okay. So now we say memset B 88 M. What did I do wrong? Why would it crash like that? That worked. You review the tape, see what I did wrong. I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe it was too big. I don't know. Free. Now watch up at the top when I free this. It's DD. Now I hit enter and it goes to E5, so it puts it back. So how about that?